Hello everyone and welcome back to Quick Looks. My name is Slothcakes and today in the hangar we have the Juaggu. Now the Juaggu is a strange looking fellow. He has this long trunk like an elephant, these long barrel fingers, stubby legs, a fat body, and this weird saucer head. He's everything I love about those strange Xeon suits, so I decided why not and let's just review this guy. But anyways, let's just jump into the lore real quick. The Juaggu is a one-year war suit. It was meant to be sent out in the Battle of Jaburo, but it didn't send out for some reason. And it did appear in the anime. Specifically appeared in the Unicorn anime when the Xeon remnants fought. Now in the anime, it did have completely different weapons. It had machine guns in its barrel fingers and it had these chest laser beams. Now moving on to the stats, the Juaggu is a 350 support ground only mobile suit. Its enhancements are nothing really to talk about. The only important one is the one that gives you an extra close, medium, and long range modifier. Now its health is okay, it has some pretty good health, but its beam and ballistic resistance are great, but its melee resistance is really poor. And considering this is a support type, that means raids are going to do a lot of damage against you. Now its range boost complements its good base damage, and its melee boost is decent, but its melee has a decent base damage as well, so that's fine. And speed and thrusters, just looking at the suit by itself, you know it's going to be a slow guy, and yeah, he's kind of slow. Now for builds, the bottom build is if you have the enhancements, and the top is if you don't. Both builds have very similar things of sustain, survivability, beam cooldown, melee resistance, and also leg damage. This suit only has 2 weapons, but those 2 weapons can do fairly good leg damage, and if you focus on crippling enemies, you can really support your team well. Now for the Juaggu skills. His most notable skills are precision shelling, which gives him 5% extra damage, enhanced tackle level 3, which gives him 80% more damage when tackling, and he covers 10% more distance, and special head buffle level 1, which makes it so he takes 10% less damage if he's shot in the head. Now if you look at the Juaggu, his head is massive, so that's good, but also his trunk runs down the middle of his body, and the trunk counts as the head. So body shots are most likely going to also take 10% less damage, which is a nice thing to note. The Juaggu also has this passive skill where if he's crouching, he's resistant to stun. Now he's not completely resistant. A few rocket shots will easily stagger him, or a beam shot and something else, but it makes it so a single rocket shot or a single stun isn't gonna topple you or stun you. This is good so you can outgun other suits and you can really stand your ground while rapid firing your missiles or shooting your charge beam. Now that we got all the numbers out of the way, let's jump into training mode and see what this suit can do. Now do note that this suit only has 3 weapons including its melee, so this is going to be a fairly short one. Okay, now going in, you're going to notice 2 things. The first thing you're going to notice is he's really big and wide. This means he's going to have a massive hitbox and you're going to stick out. Now second thing is his walking speed. He's very slow. Not the slowest, but it's going to take you some time, and you're seeing his turn speed is not that good, so if something sneak up behind you, you're in danger. Now let's start with its melee weapon, the Outer Shell Bearer Enhanced. It's a very standard support melee weapon. It's not that great, it has decent range, its left and right swings are just simple flicks. Its forward swing can hit grounded enemies, and its back swing is this step forward long horizontal poke. They're not the best tools, and you're not going to be really using this often, it's more for self-defense. Okay, now we're moving on to its first weapon, the Triple Rocket Launcher. Now this gun has an 8-second reload time, which is fairly long considering it only has 2 weapons. It has a fast takeout time though, and with 12 clips in the magazine, it's alright. Now you can shoot 1 rocket or shoot them all. You have to stop while shooting this gun, and it's a fairly accurate gun, and it has pretty good range to it. And even if you hold it down, it's still gonna be fairly accurate, so you don't need to worry about pumping this bullet or not. Now here's what it does on a mobile suit. It takes 4 rockets to stun someone, and you have 12 shots, so you can get like 3 stuns technically, but you're not going to really pump this gun, you're going to unload all of it into the enemy. And here what it looks like if you just hold down the trigger and fire all 12 shots. It does great damage and stuns them. and he was crouching while zooming in for maximum damage. Now you're not gonna be doing this that often because people are gonna be moving. You're gonna want to chase them with a shot, so it's kinda hard to aim a little bit since the bullets are slow. This weapon's biggest flaw is against fast mobile suits. Since your turn speed is slow and these bullets are slow, they can easily outmaneuver you. Moving on to its final weapon, the Juaggu's Abdominal Megaparticle Beam Cannon. Now this gun is very interesting. It's got a slower takeout time than its other gun, but it does great damage, has good range, and it's fairly fast. But the biggest flaw about this gun is if you see in the bottom right, it has a very long cooldown time. We're looking at 20 seconds if you overheat this gun. So I highly advise to run mods or don't overheat it, which is a lot easier said than done. Now when you shoot this gun, it doesn't stop your animation. You can shoot this while, example, in the air, which is interesting. You can probably get a few surprise shots with this. I don't really see you using this that often. But you can shoot this while boosting as well. And again, it doesn't interrupt any of your walking animation or boosting animation. Now I do want to emphasize that you can shoot this gun while boosting back or walking back. It's a good way to escape from combat. Now on hit, this stuns your opponent and does fairly nice damage to them. It's a good weapon just all around, just it has the flaw of a long cooldown. Now we're moving on to the Juaggu's combos and tips. Let's go over combos first. The Juaggu doesn't have that many and most of them are not guaranteed, but they're good to know because if the opponent is overheated or doesn't have a dodge roll or just slow or just don't react fast enough, you can get some good damage in. And one is stun with the rockets, but as you see, you don't have enough time to actually get the shot off, so they can roll away and get out of the way on that. However, vice versa, it is guaranteed. If you get the beam shot off and switch, you can get a few rockets in, and if they don't dodge roll out the way or get out the way, they're gonna eat a lot of rockets. Now another good thing to know is your melee combo. If for whatever reason you get a backswing off, the best choice would be the beam cannon to the legs. Now you can do this vice versa as well, beam cannon to melee into beam cannon. But also you have enhanced tackle, so just do note that your tackle is a little farther than normal. For what it is, it does fair damage and it's more for a last ditch effort just in case both your weapons are on cooldown and you're in a tight situation and you're just trying to fish for a counter, but it's still good, it's good enough. Now I just want to show you guys how it looks, like what you're going to be doing in a match. Now you want to be in a spot crouching so you get the stun resistance, and you want to be at a distance where your beam weapon still hits them. So you're just going to like shoot them with that, harass it with that, shoot some rockets to get some stun off. They're going to try to chase you or run away, and that's when you chase them down with the rockets or switch to your beam shot and get them again. This is just to give you guys a rough idea of what you're supposed to be doing as a Juaggu. And you always want to be with your teammates, but this is a good, there's a little bit of a scenario to help you guys visualize it. Also, here's the counter for this suit. It's kind of cool. I just wanted to guys show you this because I forgot last video. Now after the counter, I would highly recommend the beam weapon to get them in the legs. The rockets are a little too slow and you might stun yourself, and your melee weapon's a little too weak on the damage. Now for my final thoughts, the Juaggu's a good suit. It has some good defense except for melee. It only has 2 weapons, which makes reloads and cooldowns kind of a problem, but it has a great burst damage and is an amazing assist machine, where if you land all your rockets, you're gonna do so much damage. The biggest flaw is its melee resistance and the fact that it can't really do much things up close, because if someone dodges your beam shot, they can get into you and you can't really do much about it. But anyways, if you really like to just stay mid-range, rain hellfire with rockets and occasionally shoot some beams that do great damage, the Juaggu's right down your line. But anyways guys, this is Sloth Cakes. I hope you enjoy this as much as I enjoy making these. I'm kind of getting the hang of making these videos, and now I'm gonna do a thing where I'm gonna release a gameplay video shortly after I release this, so expect it in the next few days. But anyways guys, my name is Sloth Cakes. I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you guys next time on Quick Looks, and have a good one.